Amigos de Combo, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos, este es el close-up a Into the Storm, la nueva película de Warner Brothers que te presenta una serie de tornados impresionantes que te hará vibrar con sus efectos especiales, su sonido y más. Este es el close-up a Into the Storm desde Los Ángeles, California.
Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you have imagined. We salute you!
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to Combo.
How's it going?
I hear you speaking in Spanish.
He speaks more than I do.
Ah, come on.
She pointed that finger.
I did. I was like, look at this guy.
Neither one of us are really that well spoken, to be honest with you.
I speak Sesame Street Spanish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I can read. If you gave me something to read, I can read it as if I knew exactly what I was saying.
You have a perfect accent and not great comprehension.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
amazing. That's amazing. You can get yourself into real trouble that way.
Hello, Mexico.
Hi, Mexico.
Into the Storm, it's a scary movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of things happening very weird.
Is it too scary?
It's very tense.
Tense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a touchy subject too, but it's I think we get away with it.
Yeah?
How do you feel to be part of this story?
It was interesting to finally see it because we did a lot of acting where there were no tornadoes, just things that represented them and wind and rain we had. So to actually see it, it was fantastic. It was very exciting to see it fully realized with all the post effects, etc. So I was impressed with how well it turned out.
Take cover!
Into the Storm.
Yes.
What is this about?
It is about a small town called Silverton, Oklahoma, and being hit by the largest tornado system that there's ever been. And it's about how the residents of this town respond when this happens, and also storm chasing units. So it's the kind of the perspective of the townspeople of Silverton, and also of these storm chasers who are studying these storm formations and how this affects them over the course of a single day.
So in Mexico, it's not very common to watch a tornado, but in some states here are very scary that situation because it's real.
Right.
Do you have lived that from closer?
When I was a kid, grew up in the Midwest, and we had tornadoes, but I never experienced one firsthand. I've experienced earthquakes in Los Angeles and other disasters. I've been at sea with a hurricane, so I know what it's like to be in the middle of a natural disaster, so I could apply that to what it was like when we were making our movie with the tornadoes.
Please tell me about your experience in Into the Storm, because I think it was very fun to shoot it.
So much fun. It was so much fun. I think it created you've been calling it a team all day. I think it's, by the end of it all, we sort of had this sense of having gone through something together. They know what I look like, as bad as I look, as wet, as cold, as no makeup, as tired. Yep, that creates a bond between people.
Absolutely, and you didn't look bad.
No.
Because we were all wet and exhausted and tired, but at the end of it, you look across and you kind of go, wow, we did this.
We did that.
We did it.
And wet t-shirt is not precisely bad.
No. I'm leaving that one all alone.
Look at the side though. Come on, hurry up, let's go.
What do we got?
It's regenerating. Did you hear that?
Him and I grew up in the Midwest, so to see tornadoes was something we did in our lives. So it was a little scarier in a way because we would see, we always had tornado drills in school, and he had one that went through his elementary school.
When I was in first grade, and literally went to school while I was in class, tore the gym up, and craziest moment of my life. And the sounds in the movie, were right on par.
And there's nothing scarier than that tornado sound before a tornado hits, because it fills the whole county.
Well, you just hear this freight train noise, like the sound of a freight train, and then the building starts shaking, and next thing you know, you hear shatter the roof, and it is scary.
Yeah, what do you have to do in that situation in the real life?
From what I've learned in school, what we did is you run out to the hallways and you stay low. Nothing you can really do there, though.
Well, if it's a movie, you just press pause.
Yeah.
And you take a breath.
Yeah.
And then you keep going.
And you start again.
Especially your characters talks about family and love.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about it, please?
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what's so lovely about our plot line is it's one of the few moments in this film that it's quiet. You know, it's a very intimate setting, and it does leave some room for connecting from one human to another, and that's so lovely to find in the found footage element of the film, and also that is carried through also with the storm.
Where does that come from? All those ideas with the fire, with the thunders. How did you make that?
Well, interestingly enough, that was all from just YouTube research, because there are real video sites out there that show fire tornadoes, and it's a natural phenomenon that really exists. And when you see it and you know that it's real, you're like, wow, I have to do justice to that when I make my movie, to create that sort of phenomenon and make it feel as real as what I can see by the reference material.
What the hell is that?
This is what you guys do for a living.
They chase. I study.
This is what we worked for, you know. It's having these interviews. It's you know, seeing the posters up everywhere. I've been seeing the ads. It's exciting. It's exciting. And for us, I think one of the biggest treats is going to be seeing the other side of the movie, because the whole time we're shooting it, there's no real tornado there. We have wind, we have water, we have 100 miles per hour fans blowing at us and things like that. But there's no tornado there. So for us now, we get to see a movie for the most part that we haven't, you know, seen before. You know, if we're shooting a regular movie, all those things are usually there, you know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so
this is very much an It Takes a Village movie.
Yeah.
You know, we created the sort of raw materials that then Steve and the editors and everybody and the special effects people take into a studio and they shape it and they create it.
Your character is kind of sometimes annoying, but when it talks about the family and your brother and the father, you change a little.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I love about this movie, is that every single character, when you watch them at the beginning of the movie and at the end of the movie, they're different people. This massive calamity changes people, just like it does in real life. And you for my character specifically, he becomes a little man, because in the beginning he's a little punk, and he's forced to do things and see things that a child should never have to be witness to. And that absolutely makes him grow up, and through that, the relationship, the broken relationship with the family is kind of reforged in the fire of the storm. Yeah. So it was great to see that.
I like that.
Yeah. I saw the fire on the poster and storms.
As you were saying, I was like, is he going to say fires? I like that.
Yeah. It sounded like kind of a Lord of the Ringsy thing to say. I like it.
You tell the story like a found footage thing and a YouTuber thing. No, there's some bloggers in your story.
Right.
I'm also a blogger, so
well,
I identify.
The reason I did that is the world has changed a lot. Everybody's taking selfies. They're, you know, have their cameras. You know, everybody's videotaping everything. They're vlogging, and so that world we live in now is, you know, representative of the film itself. Without that, it would feel too much like a traditional classical disaster film, and I felt it was a commentary on today's social media and how people are all acting with each other.
And it was close! Dude, my arm hurts. All the warning sirens are down. If a tornado's coming your way, you're not gonna know it. Hey guys, it's splitting!
You felt a little fear to be in that situation, or just acting, or I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, it's not a job where you think too hard.
Right.
Because as soon as your body just starts reacting to the wind and the rain, and I like working that way. I think it's a great thing to be yanked out of your planning phases.
Or your comfort zone.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It was dangerous.
It looks dangerous. We tried to make it as safe as possible for the actors, and in fact, it was very safe for the actors. I mean, Richard Armitage, when he's running and there's a pickup truck that smashes right in front of him, that we did for real, and we basically told Richard, hey, if you don't stop when you're running, you will die. So stop at this point. This is the mark, and we actually had a cable just in case to safety. But in essence, you know, there are some dangers, but it's very minimal because we're very smart about what we're doing, and a lot of it is done, you know, through visual effects and techniques that make it a lot safer.
All of the characters have an arc, and no one ends up in the exact same place. And you see that in a very clear, specific way at the end of the movie, because it's not just about the tornado, it's about after the tornado, and rebuilding.
And then along with that, it is an old-fashioned like thrill ride in the movie, where, you know, once we get going, you're on the edge of your seat, and the and the human aspect of it just I hope just makes people care more.
It really is like it's a real good popcorn.
I study storms all my life. And this one is bigger than any storm that has ever been.
In my show, we have a tradition to say the good, the bad, and the weird about the movie. Can you help me with those, please?
The good.
Lots of good.
There's lots of good.
Great people.
I'm gonna give Steve will be our good.
Steve is proud.
Because without Steve there, I don't think we'd have this finished product.
The mad scientist at the heart of it.
Yeah.
The bad? In some ways, it's a good bad, because the bad is that you're going to be, stuck in a movie theater, hanging on to your girlfriend or boyfriend for dear life as you experience this amazing, horrific but spectacular ride that you go through. So, I mean, it's bad, but in some ways, maybe it's a good.
I think the weirdness is that some of the things that we actually shot 2 years ago had never really happened in nature, and since then, these things have actually occurred, like the two storms merging together to become one vortex. They've documented that. Or to have a mile wide or 2 mile wide tornado. Yeah. That has happened. Or, a giant fire tornado. Those things have happened.
And then there is the sexiness of the movie.
Yeah.
And do I really have to say?
And the Titus is very...
The Titus. That's a chick magnet. It's a chick magnet. The Titus.
If you were 16, you would definitely drive it to school.
I would want that as my first car for sure. No, I wouldn't want to.
You would get so much
I'm 25 years old now, and I want it for my car.
We're going to see Into the Storm in Mexico when it's arrived. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Nathan, you are very popular in Mexico with iCarly.
Oh, all right.
It's still on TV and everybody loves you.
Awesome. Well, we love Mexico, so it's mutual.
Thank you, guys.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Espacio para hablar de películas libre de mamonerías. Porque nosotros no queremos ser grandes críticos, simplemente queremos ser tus amigos. ¿Qué les parece si comenzamos con los estrenos de la semana?